Hey, beautiful souls, welcome to the eclipse, lunar eclipse in Taurus energy reading. This time it will not be a video, it will just be an audio. Because I really wanted to do this, I think it's really important. This eclipse season is going to bring a totally different, more intense type of level vibration to all of us. It's one of the largest, it's not one, it's the largest lunar eclipse that we have ever seen in our time and will ever see in our time. So it's actually like really important. It's gonna last a lot longer than it usually does. Usually it's around like 100 days to a year, but this eclipse will open up a new era for humankind. And it's going to be intense. It's going to be intense. So let's talk about it from an astrological point of view. So we got the sun in Taurus while this eclipse is happening. The sun in Taurus is actually telling us that we need to be more endurant, especially when it comes to our resources. We need to be patient, and we need to focus upon finding better ways to communicate with our local community, but also with social media and with businesses. I feel like it's very important for us to be patient about what's coming next. It's going to be a lot of strains or restraints on resources like money, like resources overall, like food, like electricity, a lot of like anything resources, like anything you can put on the resources. Is going to be strained for some reason. It will probably have to do with resistance. I feel also it's very important that we focus more on our skill set and how we can make sure that we are good, that we are, and like we can endure whatever is happening or whatever is coming. There will be a lot of resistance, and I think that this resistance will be slowly built up. I think some of us probably hope that it will be like wham bam, thank you ma'am, and here it is, but that's probably not what's going to happen. I feel like it's going to happen very slowly, and that they're going to be very smart. And when I'm talking about I'm talking about the government and the forces in the universe that are trying to hold on to the old power structures, to the old systems, and they will do anything in their possibility to make sure that that happens. And they have a certain system, and I feel like that system will be slowly brought into place in a way that psychologically influences people to an extent that their resistance, their rebellion, and their revolutionary energy is going to be in like it's going to happen. It's going to definitely happen, but it's going to happen very slowly. Okay, we also have like the moon in Taurus in 25 degrees. The sun in Taurus is in 27 degrees. So the moon is going to be all about our emotions, our moods, our unconscious minds, our habits. And it's in 25 degrees in Taurus. So I definitely feel like it's very important to not rush into anything. You can be very impulsive. You can feel very impulsive, but I feel like you need to counter that energy with like feeling bold and brave to make your own decisions and to make sure that you fight for what's right for you. I feel like there will be a lot of like rebellious type of energy, but I feel like it will be very internal. So I feel like people will feel very rebellious and people will be very angry type of energy, very stubborn, like no, I'm not gonna do this, no, I'm gonna fight for it. But it's more like an internal fight than it is actually an external fight. And I feel like this will happen over the course of I think at least until April, and I even think longer than that, but especially like until April. I feel like it's going to be all about the mind. People are going to be like very much in an internal journey, even though they might express through social media or through friendships or like in connection with other people, but most of it will be internally. I kind of feel like what people are thinking internally, they will probably also have a very hard time communicating that externally the way they actually want to. So there might be a disconnect in what you're thinking and how you're expressing it. It feels like you're thinking it with a lot of strength, but the way it comes out, it is not actually totally the way you would like it to come out, the way it's actually feeling for you. There's a little bit of a issue in the translation there. Okay, do not rush into things. Fights might be very possible, like aggressive energy might be very possible. People might be feeling more aggressive, you might be feeling more aggressive, you might be feeling angry. I feel like we're talking about like fast thoughts, like things are going very quickly. Also, I feel like it's very important for you to focus on what you can do yourself in order to feel better, in order to change things, shift things, and go into a different direction. It's all about also being self-made, so you need to make sure that your mind is right. You need to make sure that your emotions are balanced. That you shouldn't be expecting anything from anyone. You should just be focusing upon you. And I feel like that might cause a lot of people to feel pretty lonely in the upcoming months. Okay. When we're talking about Mercury is going to be in Scorpio in 21 degrees. Mercury is all about the mind. It's all about thoughts. It's all about communication, reason, language, intelligence, and it's going to be in Scorpio in 21 degrees. So I kind of feel like it's going to be very emotional. I feel like we might feel like we're sacrificing a lot of ourselves, our thoughts, our freedoms, our way of being, and there's going to be a very big transformation. Some of us might be feeling very suspicious or paranoid. I don't like the word paranoid, because I said paranoid last night to my partner, and he said to me, well, paranoid means that you are suspicious of something that's not really actually happening. It's just all in your mind, and that's not actually what I'm feeling. I'm feeling that it's not actually in our mind. I feel like it's actually happening. So I kind of feel like I should be using the word suspicious, but I feel like everything is like, what's happening there, what's happening there. We're not trusting. There's no trust. Trustworthy is like at a, I almost want to say an all-time low. But I feel like our mind is very determined to be free. Our mind is very determined to do whatever it takes to get that freedom. And for some people, that may mean complying to rules and regulations and laws. And for some people, that may mean not doing that and just doing the opposite of what is being suspected from us by law, by government, by people around us, trying to hold on to our own freedoms and our own possibilities. Foreign countries are going to be on the top of our mind, so we're probably going to look a lot at or think a lot about different countries or different continents, and thinking about what's happening there. And I feel like there might be some news, there might be some information coming through about foreign countries that might shock us, that might make us feel very very restrained, very restricted. There's also going to be some news about education. That's going to play a very big role. Education, school, the school system. There might be news about restrictions for schools, or restrictions or new laws for schools, or needing to educate yourself on something new coming to the market, or something new about foreign countries. I feel like a lot of people are going to be in more of a philosophy type of mindset and thinking a lot about what's happening. Religion might have something to do with this too. I feel like religion might be very blunt, or might be very directive, or very expressive about what's going on. So they might see something in the news, or might see social media hypes about priests or religious people talking about what's actually happening, and being very blunt and being very direct about it. Definitely. I feel like there's definitely separation happening a lot. But I feel like in the mind, things are coming together too. Be very mindful to not store certain emotions and store certain feelings. I feel like this will create liver issues. Some people might have issues with their liver, or might have issues with their belly. Okay. I feel like in our mind, we're just being very direct and very blunt, and no longer beating around the bush the upcoming months. I think that's very important too. It's a very big transformation that's happening in the mind, in all of us, to some degree. For some it's all about awakening, and for some it's all about like complying and a transformation in how we express ourselves, or how we see other people, or how we are seeing our government, or what's actually happening. That doesn't mean that expression, or that doesn't mean that feeling or that understanding will straight away be all about us expressing it. I feel like it will be internal again. Then we're talking about Mars is in, no, Venus is in Capricorn in 12 degrees. So Venus is the planet that's all about attraction, love, intimacy, self-love, harmony, art. And for me, this is going to be all about harmony, and it's going to be all about relationships during this eclipse. And I kind of feel like we have less attention for ourself, self-care, and I feel like we have less attention for our relationships because our minds are very occupied. They're very I almost want to say like overwhelmed. I feel like people are very overwhelmed by all the information that they need to process, that they have less attention for their relationship in the way that they would like to. I'm not saying that that is a very big problem for most people. I feel like if their relationship is solid and both of you are on the same page, this is definitely not a problem. Some people might feel more fear though. Some people might feel more fear and pessimistic surrounding their relationships, and feel like they might not work out, or they might like clash. I feel like this is something you need to be more patient with. You need to be more patient with both yourself and loving yourself and taking care of yourself, but you also need to be more patient with your partner, because this is a very sensitive time to be alive, and the upcoming months will be definitely very sensitive. So make sure that you are patient with your partner, and make sure that you team up if you have a relationship. If you do not have a relationship, you might be very insecure when it comes to meeting someone or meeting someone new. And if you're not into finding someone new or focusing on someone new, this is definitely to do with being fearful about your future, and fearful about yourself, and maybe underestimating yourself and the ability that you have to do something great with your life and to have control over where your life is heading. Then we're going to look at Mars. Mars is in Scorpio, in 13 degrees. And Mars is all about action. Mars is all about aggression, war, competition. And I definitely feel a very strong action, competition, aggression, and warlike type of energy happening in the world during this eclipse, or in the how do you say it, the following weeks and months and days after this eclipse. I definitely feel like we're getting a lot of like rebellion standing up. I also feel for a very like warlike type of energy when it comes to 2022. I'm focusing on creating the reading for 2022, and the title that I got through a meditation was All is Fair in Love and War for 2022. So there's definitely going to be something happening around war, but I kind of feel like it has a lot to do with also spiritual warfare. We feel like we need to sacrifice a lot of ourselves, and I feel like this is causing a lot of aggression, a lot of emotions that are very fast moving. But I also feel like people are taking the initiative to shake things up, to take action, and to make sure that things are shifting and changing in our favor. This is aggression that is mostly, I feel like, justified. This is a aggression and a feeling that is justified, and it's very uncomfortable for a lot of people. It will be very uncomfortable for a lot of people. It might start out very small, but it might be very big. Like you might see more demonstrations. You might see a lot of protesting. You might see people getting to violence, like rioting on different places around the world. But even in like in your national space or local space, there might be something happening there. Also be very mindful to not be too blunt, or not to be too aggressive towards strangers or people you do not know, because you might get into fights. You also might get into fights with family members or people that are close to you, because you kind of feel like misunderstood or not understood. Okay. Then we're moving into the Jupiter energy, and Jupiter is in Aquarius, thank God, in 24 degrees. And Jupiter is all about growth and understanding, and Aquarius is of course all about technology and freedom. So I definitely feel like this time during this eclipse, we're growing, and we're getting to a new understanding. With I feel like with every thing put into place, with every law mandate, with every news item, with every media campaign, with every politician saying certain things, we get a deeper understanding about what's actually happening, and about how much our freedoms actually mean for us, and mean to us. Even the people that actually agree with the system, I feel like even they will get a deeper understanding about what it means to be free, and how it feels to not have certain freedoms. They might not point out like the person that's actually doing the punishing and putting up the rules as the person that is the bad guy. They might turn on people that they care about or love or have a different opinion than them, not understanding how it actually works straight away. But I definitely feel like in the upcoming months that for a lot of people there will be a certain awakening. I also feel like a lot of people will feel lost and isolated, so that might mean that we're going into new um how is it called, lockdowns. That might mean that we're going into new lockdowns. It might mean that we feel more isolated. It might mean that we get into a little bit more of a hermit mode. Like you want to process things and want to understand things and grow through things more in an like alone or with your partner or with just like one or two friends, but not like with the whole world. It's not a open, like you're not open, you're not like it's a very internal thing. There's also a lot of illusion happening surrounding technology and what's happening, a lot of illusion surrounding our freedoms, and I feel like we're also starting to understand what the technology that's being put into place is influencing, and how it's making people feel lost, and how it's making people like create like getting less, feeling less of like less freedom. I also feel like technology may create more freedom in some cases for some people, and of course that's true if you are vaccinated and you have like a QR code, for example. It's giving you a lot of freedom, but I'm not just talking about that. I'm also talking about like new inventions coming to the market, that's making things more like automatic, like so we have more freedoms to do different things, or things in a different way. I also feel like it has a lot to do with growth. There's going to be a lot of growth surrounding things we didn't see in the first place. I also feel like it's going to be all about expansion and abundance, and there's going to be, and I do feel like there's going to be a restriction or isolation or shifts, thanks to technology, or through technology. I feel like we will be isolated, or we might not have certain abundances, and we might feel like we're not expanding but more contracting, if that makes any sense. Then we're focusing up on Saturn energy. So we have Saturn in Aquarius in 8 degrees, and Saturn is all about discipline, structure, law, restrictions, responsibilities, obligations, and ambition. And we have it in Aquarius, so that's very contradicting, if that makes any sense. We're going to have new laws. We're going to have new restrictions. These restrictions will be forced upon us through technology. It's going to be very intense, and we feel like we're lacking freedom. New laws are made to constrain or restrict our freedoms, and we're deeply focused on this. And I kind of feel like most people will be deeply focused upon this. Like the focus might almost be kind of hypnotic, and I kind of feel like that is a certain distraction too. So there might be news. There might be new laws, but I kind of feel like these laws are to distract us for something else that's going on. I feel like it's a strategy to put something else in place that's even more heavier, or they might do that at the same time, and something else might overshadow it. So pay attention to news, pay attention to things that might shock you, or might be like, oh my god, what's happening here. It might be very intense, but it might be a decoy. It might be to distract us from what's actually really happening. And I feel like that is a strategy. Okay, so that's a strategy that's going on. I feel like we personally will be a lot in hermit mode, and deeply focused upon the things that we want to focus upon. So it could be that some people might be very focused upon what's happening in the world, but it also might be that some people might be very focused upon their work, or their art, or music, or distractions, whatever it may be. It might feel some sort of like as if we're in a hypnosis, and it's really hard to wake up from it. Some people are pretty awake from it, are very conscious about what's happening, but you might be walking around the world, or like your workplace, or in the family, and might be like, what are these people doing? Or why are they not focused on what's happening? Or why are they so like, people might not even pay attention to what you're saying. That's the type of energy that I'm getting. People might not even be focusing on what you're really saying, because they're so like in their own minds or busy with what they are focused upon, yeah, it's going to be a very strange, weird type of energy, very weird. Then we're talking about Uranus in Taurus in 12 degrees, and Uranus is all about revolution, sudden changes, rebellion. It's all about revolution, reinformation, unpredictable, a lot of unpredictable energy. We're having this Uranus in Taurus in 12 degrees. So what I'm definitely seeing here is a lot of changes when it comes to our resources and when it comes to our money. There might be a lot of lack of money. There might be a shift or a change in currency. Inflation might be going up. There might be a revolution surrounding money and surrounding resources popping up in the upcoming weeks. There's definitely also big changes when it comes to hospitals. So hospitals might be closing down. There might be not enough resources for hospitals. And I'm not just talking about staff here. I'm talking about like resources as in stuff like there might be a shortage at some, like for some reason, when it comes to money or resources for hospitals. There might also be changes in healing possibilities. So people might, it might be that the hospitals are too overloaded, like there's not enough space for everybody to get the healing that they need. I feel like some people might be isolated. There might be some places in the world there might be some sort of like healing prison or isolation prison or hospital prison, or there might be mandates where people are being kept prisoned or feeling like they're being kept prisoned in order to comply, or in order to make sure we have more money or resources, or because of the changes in resources and money. So for example, some of the stuff that we are seeing on the news about people no longer going to work because they do not have a vaccination, and they are mandated in some countries. That these people might go to prison or might need to go into total isolation because they're not following their job or not doing their job, or there's going to be some, like, I feel like very like dominating type of energy. There is definitely this spiritual warfare going on, and I feel like people might feel like they're imprisoned in something, but this spiritual warfare is creating a spiritual awakening, and through isolating people, I feel like a lot of people are going to wake up and heal. And I feel like heal is not just in a physical way, but I also feel like it has to do with a mental and emotional and spiritual way. What I'm also seeing is like a lot of people that might have more issues with healing. I definitely feel like this goes for people that might be vaccinated, that might have more issues with healing different type of things, different type of things. Something with like DNA being isolated, or DNA shifting, or sudden changes in DNA happening, and maybe the physical body rebelling against what's like being put into the body. So it might be medicine, this might be alcohol, this might be food. Yes. I'm even seeing attack on the lungs for some people by breathing in. Interesting. Okay, then we're moving into Neptune. Neptune is in Pisces in 20 degrees. Neptune is all about intuition and delusion and dreams, mystic and imagination and delusions and occult type of energy. And we're having it in Pisces, and these two can go hand in hand. Pisces is also all about spiritual energy. It's all about the unconscious mind, intuitive, compassionate, sensitive energy, but also submission and unrealistic energy and self-pity and dependency and codependent energy. So with this Neptune in Pisces in 20 degrees, I'm definitely feeling like our illusion is going to of not our intuition is going to speak to us. I feel like some people might like walk around like they're very like in a delusion, like they're not on the same planet, so it might feel like you and other people are in a totally different reality, while we're still on the same planet. It might not feel like we're on the same planet because there's definitely a spiritual warfare going on. This might feel a lot of people lost, and might especially make people feel lost who see through the delusion. I feel like some people might be very unrealistic, and there might be a very big aspect of people trying to escape their reality. This is giving me a lot of like Cypher energy. You know Cypher from the Matrix. And when I did the 2021 reading, I didn't post it because I felt like I should back the fuck down when it came to putting myself in the limelight. But when I was doing the 2021 reading, I very strongly got the Cypher energy. You know, when Cypher in the Matrix, Morpheus, it's not Morpheus, Mr. Smith is offering him to take the blue pill instead of the red pill. And the red pill standing for truth, and the blue pill standing for getting back into the matrix. So I kind of feel like we're dealing with a lot of like Cypher energy. And I definitely felt it for a lot of the year, like that a lot of people will choose to get back into the system. They might know what's going on, but they might try to like escape it or not be focused upon it, distracting themselves from it. And I feel like that might turn out in the upcoming months in the Cypher at a certain point is actually betraying his people with who he chose the red pill, the awakened forces that are fighting the system, that are fighting the matrix. And I kind of feel like there might be people, so I feel like it's important for all of us to pay for very close attention. There might be people that are betraying you, or are snitching on you, or are having a very strong Cypher energy in order to get back into the system and become like delusional again, and to not have to focus upon what's happening. I feel like a lot of people will definitely, yeah. Oh, this is really bad energy though. I'm getting a little bit of the creeps about it. I'm hearing deep state. So I feel like this might not even be conscious that these people are snitching on you. It might be in an unconscious way. It might be them thinking they're doing the thing that's good for them, or the thing that's best for them, in order to have a most comfortable life. So be very mindful to be very private about your stuff. I feel like people will be very much in hermit mode during this transformation, and we're going to be in a deep state of transformation. So if you feel lost, just pay close attention to keeping things very close to yourself, being grounded, and clearing whatever energy needs to be cleared. Okay, and then we're going to Pluto. Pluto is going to be in Capricorn in 24 degrees, and Pluto is all about transformation, power, death, rebirth, evolution, and it's in Capricorn. And Capricorn is all about, well, it's all about career, it's all about status, it's all about strategy, determination, discipline, responsibility, persistence. But it's also pessimistic, and it's greedy, and it's cynical, and it's fearful, and it's ruthless, and it's rigid, and it's misery. It's really like focused on earthly matters. It's very it's not taking action. It's more like being a little bit more passive in energy. Okay, and with the 20 degrees 24 degrees energy that we're focusing on, I definitely feel like this has to do a lot with being in compassion, healing, being isolated, illusions, feeling lost. So what I'm feeling here is there might be a change and transformation in careers, in taking responsibility, and therefore people losing jobs, or changing or shifting jobs. Some jobs might totally stop. There might be a stop because of changes of career. I feel like rigid changes or rigid strategies might cause people to be very fearful and go deeper into hermit mode. I kind of feel like people will be very suspicious of what's going on when it comes to the powers that are trying to are trying to control whatever is happening. For some reason I keep being pulled to 20 degrees, and I don't know why. Yeah, it's all sorts of strategies and all sorts of transformations. I also see reproductive organs. So there might be an evolution or a change in transformation in reproductive organs. I know that it's not for everyone, that energy is not for anyone or everyone. It should be probably something in the news, or something happening like in a big wave of yeah, shifts or changes, something in the news. I feel a lot coming true, but I'm not gonna say that because I do not want to like make people more fearful than necessary. But I definitely feel like we're going to get some big news about something surrounding reproductive organs, strategies, changes. So there might be also changes surrounding like people that are pregnant, and new rules and regulations for them when it comes to some sort of responsibility that they need to take, or some sort of like isolation, or changes in work, or changes in how they're dealing with pregnancies and stuff like that. Like, it's a really weird energy. The eclipse is bringing in a really weird energy, and it's really focused upon well, there's this impulsive energy. I feel like people will not feel bold enough to make decisions yet, or to make very important big decisions, life decisions. But I definitely feel like we're needing to. The universe is rushing us into what's about to take place in the upcoming months until like May, end of April. And I feel like it's important for you to be brave and to take initiative and to take action, like physical action, not just in your mind, but just really take action, and to make sure that you start taking the responsibility to make sure that you and your family is good, to make sure that you have a strategy, a get out strategy, a work through strategy, any type of strategy when it comes to finances, career, and work, but also when it comes to dealing with different rigid strategies that are creating fear. So I think it's very important when we're focusing upon this energy that we especially focus upon feeling better, being in control, and being sovereign, and also being like having ownership and authority over self in any possible way. Okay, any and every possible way. So when it comes to intuitively what's coming true when it comes to this eclipse, I feel like I have to say it again, that it's very important to know that the eclipse is setting things in motion. So this energy will not straight away come to you today. For some it will, for some we might see things on the news today, but or surrounding us, but this will be an energy that will be rolled out until April, and it might last for, I want to almost say like 10 years, maybe, yeah, 10 years. I definitely feel like it's very important to be very mindful that it is a long-term process that we're moving into. It's not just like we're going to deal with this for a month, and then things are going to shift into something else, or until the next eclipse happens in I think like April 2022. No, this is going to be a long-term energy that's going to be rolled out. So be very mindful of that, and pay attention to all the signs and listen to them and take appropriate action. So what I'm seeing here is an energy of being spied on, being needing to be very mindful when it comes to your social media, when it comes to internet, when it comes to putting your privacy things out. I feel like people spying on you, or people like focusing on your every move. Maybe even people tapping into your energy and trying to figure out where you at, or what you're thinking, or what you're feeling. This might also have to do a lot with the spiritual warfare. So I kind of feel like people being controlled through media, or social media, or internet, but not just internet. I kind of feel like also people or government controlling you, like I see it's like a havoc in the sky, like making sure that they're controlling and seeing what everybody is doing. But I feel like this also has a lot to do with probably needing to be in isolation, or needing to be in lockdown, and your every move being watched. I feel like a lot of people might wake up and see things suddenly very clear, suddenly seeing a shift or a change, but they're being battling, or they're being some being distracted, or are battling with their internal demons, like the things that they're working through. And I feel like this, you can get more information surrounding what that might be if you look at your moon sign and seeing what degrees this your moon sign is. I kind of see what, or you can kind of see what demons or shadows you might be battling, that might be distracting you from seeing things clear, or making clear decisions about what's actually happening. I feel like it's very important for you to not be too pessimistic, and not let yourself be drawn into sadness and depression, which is actually very easy to do when we're thinking about what's about to happen, and when we're in the moment and see what is actually happening. And when we're going through the winter type of energy, when things are very dark, gloomy, lights are it's getting dark very early. We're not probably going to like be with family or people we care about the way we used to around those days. I kind of feel like some people are ready to like to fight. Some people are ready to like, okay, this is a new era, we're going to do things differently, and they're going to go about their winter time different than they did last year. I feel like you learned, if you are one of those people, you learned a lot about what's happening in the world, and a lot about your own cycles and what's good for you. So I feel like it's very important to pay close attention to that. I feel like distance between people you care about and people you love, by a higher source, by government, by institutions, by maybe a parent, maybe it's like someone with authority is dividing, changing, shifting, and trying to make this possible. It's making me think of when Facebook was doing this trying to figure out if they could steer the election into a certain direction. And I kind of feel like this is happening too through advertising and through like that type of stuff, and they're trying to like steer things in a certain direction. So I feel like a lot of people will see what's actually happening, like right on the dot. They're just watching it, and they're just like, what? And for some people this might be a totally new energy that's coming through you to this eclipse. And if you are one of these people and it's going to be totally new to you, then I applaud you and say welcome to the club. Might be hard waking up sometimes, and seeing the truth for what it is, but I definitely feel like it will help you a lot. I also see that it's very important for all of us to pay really close attention to teenagers and children these upcoming months. That they might need a lot of attention. They might need a lot of care. There might be a lot of news surrounding them. There might be a lot of injustice surrounding them, and they might be very off balance. Children and teenagers might feel a lot like disbalanced, like emotional. So your children might be acting out. They might be more emotional than you usually are. They might be behaving really strangely. They might be very clingy or very aggressive. They might have issues with their diet. They might have issues with even like physical movement or like their health. Be very mindful to make the right decisions. I'm getting here news coming through, or like mail coming through, or like getting like documents or things or information about children. So I kind of feel like this has to do with children getting the possibility to be vaccinated, small children getting the possibility to be vaccinated, and you needing to, as a parent, needing to make a very intelligent and important decision about the health of your children, but also about their future. And I feel like this has a lot to do with also the feminine, so like daughters and young women. There might be some things happening there that is causing you to be very off balance, to be feeling very and it might not even just be like teenagers. I feel like this might be young women or women overall. There might be something happening with your feminine reproduction system, your hormones. So pay close attention, even if you are not vaccinated or if you are vaccinated. Also pay close attention to hormones, to what you're eating, to your food. But I kind of also feel like this has a lot to do with new stuff being brought to the market, like maybe clothes or stuff like that, or like something in the market or something that we can consume either by buying it or just like eating it or consuming it in any type of other way that might like collapse. Like it's not collapsing, it might collide, like it might go like, oh, how do I say this, it might be very bad for your health, either mental, emotional, physical, but I feel like all types of ways. And I feel like it will cause your health to be off balance. Okay, be very like focused on doing the right thing for your physical body, following your intuition, and not just following the mainstream orders or the mainstream focus. I feel like some news about that might not be open to you yet, okay? Available for you yet. I also feel like it might feel like you're not being fully who you am. You're not having the possibility to do what feels good to you. I feel like that this has to do with some sort of collapse. So there might be a collapse coming, and that might cause you to grieve. That might cause you to grieve and wonder which direction you need to go in. This causes a lot of people to be indecisive. I feel like it's something that you need to act or respond to really quickly, but it's not really happening. And I kind of feel like this has to do with 2022, because I'm getting the Lover's card, and that's the 6 energy, and the 6 energy is for 2022. But I also feel like it's very important surrounding self-care and self-love and relationships. So relationships might break down. You might like go into different directions with some people or people that you care about, or a lover. You might grieve that. I also feel like there might be losses. So there might be people passing away in waves more than usual. And this might cause a lot of loss. You could be feeling the collective loss too, even if you're not being like if it's not happening surrounding you, or like in your own family, or in your like in your own space. You might be feeling the collective energy of loss and dealing with collapses in 2022, and you need to make decisions. But people have a lot of like issues making decisions. I feel like especially women, mothers, or people with a lot of titles might feel all over the place, and feel like it's really hard to make the right decision. This might cause you to go into hermit mode, but you actually should be making swift and shift decisions. Be very mindful of friendships and people surrounding you, and especially because there might be a lot of judgment. I feel like there's judgment days coming type of energy in 2022. And I actually felt like I feel like that's going to take it's going to take a while, and I feel like it's been happening for a while. I feel like it has a lot to do with maybe I'm hearing like something coming down from the sky, so we might see a lot of like activity in the universe, activity that we have not seen before. There might be something happening that is not happening, that has not happened in our lifetime yet, that might cause you to grieve, that might cause you to make strict decisions, to be very assertive. Yeah, set healthy boundaries. Set healthy boundaries in friendships and connections with people, in order to preserve your inner peace, in order to preserve peace, in order to preserve resources and abundance for you and your own family. I feel like you need to pay close attention to your family. Whatever may be happening, this is a phoenix type of energy. It's a burning down of the system in order to build it up. It's a burning down of something. It's a breaking down of something in order to build it up again. It's going to be revived. It's going to be it's going to live a new life. I kind of feel like we need to pay very close attention to betrayal. That might be causing you to grieve too. I feel like you're going to be very like evaluating your every step and your every move and everything you have and everything you're going to do in the upcoming months, in order to make the right decision. And I feel like you need to be very like strict. I feel like you need to take the lead. I feel like men are going to be very important in order for us to make decisions when it comes to a collapse, when it comes to a breakdown of some sort, a tower coming down. Like it's going to be very important in the upcoming months. But I definitely feel like, especially people tuning into this reading, I feel like you are more prepared, or consciously more prepared, or the universe has guided you here for a reason, in order to hear whatever I'm saying right now, so you can be more aware. And then I feel like it will not be like a shock to you. I kind of feel like you felt something coming already, but you couldn't point like your finger on it. But I feel like it's really important for you to be very like careful of your mind, and to make sure that your mind is not being too negative, too low vibrational, too scared. If once you're getting into the scared type of energy, you're being you're not mobile, you're not making decisions, you're not moving forward. And I feel like you need to be balanced. You need to be balanced in order to feel good, in order to make sure that you make the right decisions for you and your family. Okay, so this is your eclipse energy reading for November 19th in 2021. when Taurus, when the eclipse energy and the full moon energy is in Taurus, and Taurus in 25 degrees. So yeah, it's very interesting. I would like to hear your thoughts on this. I would like to hear what you feel, what is coming true for you. By the way, when I'm looking to numerology, when it comes to this date and this eclipse, we're getting an 8 energy, very strong 8 energy, and I definitely feel like this has a lot to do with a karmatic event. There's a karmatic event happening here that we need to get out of, that we need to shift, that we need to experience as a collective. So it's not just our own personal individual karma we're dealing with a collective karma happening. I feel like those that are meant to be leaders are waking up and are being pushed into that direction to be more like a leader. I definitely feel like a lot of careers are about to shift, and a lot of finances or financial things are about to shift and change in a very deep way. Like this is an ending of a very big cycle because of the 19, right? The 9 is a ending, a completion of a very big cycle, and starting a new cycle starting today. And it's not going to be a happy, joyful cycle. It's going to be a pretty hard one, because old systems need to be brought down, and the longer we take in order to break down, because the humans, like the people, need to break the system down. It's not going to happen by itself, and I feel like a lot of people are going to be very slow to come in action in order to be a part of breaking down the system. And it doesn't have to be in a aggressive and warlike type of energy. It could be a smart and strategic, and not going to comply to the system, and we're going to do things differently, or we're going to live a more healthier lifestyle, more happier lifestyle, or any type of way, like whatever your soul is calling you to do. That's your mission here. And with the 11 energy, I definitely feel like this is like very spiritual. We're being like woken up. This is a waking up of souls. This is new beginning for the collective, like in waves, but especially the Western world. Especially the Western world, like also like, or worlds that have a Western structure, a very Western structure. So I'm not talking about Africa, even though Africa is very developed or getting more developed by the day. I feel like this is something beyond Africa, that they are not being touched. And I even feel like Asian countries and more like I want to say more Muslim countries are not being affected by it the same way that the Western countries are, like Western China, also Russia. Also, I kind of feel like these countries, their systems are going to be totally brought down. Eventually, it's going to take some years, but it's something that a lot of us are going to be waking up to. And we need to make decisions. We need to make decisions when it comes to who are we connecting with, who are we who are we connecting with, who are we going to be like, I almost want to say like a community with. Who are we going to be a community with in this new beginning? What decisions are we going to make for this new beginning? What intentions are we going to place? How are we going to form? How are you and your family and those you love? And we're not gonna like pull people in that do not want to be part of that. People that are not woken up, people that are talking to you like you're crazy, or people like, and people that you are not on one line with, like they're not on the same page. We're not gonna bother like trying to get them on board. That ship has passed. They need to wake up on their own accord, or they need to be with like if you are entirely like pro system or pro government, and people that you connect with are not, it has no, like you are not gonna get on the same page. They need to go to their journey, you need to go on your journey. And I feel like that separation is going to happen. And so I hear some astrological people talking about, yeah, but 2022 is going to bring us all together. Nah, that's not the energy. I'm sorry, I'm going to disappoint all of you. If you thought that things are going to be better in 2022, it's not. It's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. It's going to be more intense. It's going to be more separation. But in the separation, the people that are coming together and are connecting to one another like they have not done before, there are beautiful things happening. There are new ideas. Their group is going to be very solid. It's going to be very harmonious. It's going to be very unified. And that's something that we have not seen for a very long time. So that's going to be a very interesting energy. Okay, I'm done talking because we're almost up to an hour, and I kind of wanted to give you all a short reading. But I definitely thought that you all needed to hear this. this. I'm wishing you all a lot of strength, a lot of like reasoning, a lot of like ability to see, ability to pick and choose and be in control and have the own authority, like the authority about of yourself, the authority of your children, to have your free will and to be able to do with that free will whatever you please do and whatever you choose to. It's time for an evolution. It's time for a revolution. It's time for changes. And these changes are not going to come easy. These changes are not going to come overnight. So prepare yourself and in a way to make sure that you know that whatever is coming, you are capable of moving through those times. You are capable, more than capable. You chose to be on this planet, on this moment, in this time, in this day and age. Your soul wanted to be here, wanted to be part of this evolution, this revolution, this shift in the human consciousness. This is a Maya. It's like this is the like the time when the Mayas ended. This is that time, like when, like this is this time when the how do we call them, the Romans, like when they were in power and then all of a sudden they were not anymore. This is that time. Like every society has a certain point where they collapse, when they outdone themselves in a way that is no longer functioning right, and when they're not able to shift and go through the evolution and to let their powers and things die off. Well, I feel like we are at the brinks of that collapse of our society, both financially as in societal collapse, but in a way we have not seen before. And it's going to be very interesting, and it's going to be very beautiful at the same time. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be very beautiful and necessary for the beautiful times that we are about to create. But in order to create something, we need to first destroy the old. Okay? So keep that vision in mind, that you are part of a new earth. You are part of a new world. So every choice and decision you make from now on is all going to influence both your timeline as well as the collective, as well as the new earth that we are bringing into this world. So yeah, with that comes a lot of responsibility, but also a lot of joy in creating and co-creating with those you care about and those that are like-minded. I'm sending you so much love, good energy, and blessings. I'm really done for now. Thank you for listening. Let me know how you felt. Share this with a friend, and yeah, I see you on the other side.